Yes, Rasco and Disco beer review with me, Disco, coming at you with another beer video from in front of the cans and bottles. Here on the bar, I'm still beautifully calling the Disco Arms. Today is Disco Day, totally self-indulgent, self-titled day where I drink all the beers with disco in the name from the disco collection that I've amassed across the course of this year. I started this daft caper in the lockdown of 2020 when I started noticing more beers. Having been stuck at home, I was buying beers online direct from breweries and bottle shops across the country, and one or two beers kind of stuck out with disco in the name, so I started amassing them almost by accident, to be fair, but also with a little bit of content in mind. Started off, the original one, the OG beer for me, Disco Forklift Truck from Drygate in Glasgow. In fact, even before that, way before lockdown, in the original artwork in the cans. Picked them up from supermarkets way back in the 20-teens. So once I started ordering direct from Drygate, they had a few more iterations of that one in different flavours. And the first Disco Day one, around about my birthday in July 2020. I'm not big on my birthday, I always let it pass, but this kind of seemed a good time to be doing self-indulgent stuff. I had 12 beers on the first Disco Day. And another 8 by the end of 2020. I'm now up to 31 beers, so this one will be 32, and I've got another 7 today. Well, 6 plus something a bit daft, but it's a cocktail, but it's got disco in the name. See how I get through them. See how we get to number 6 and 7. I've got a couple of quite big ones, including this one. First off, 8.5% hazy double IPA from Fremont Brewing. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't think it's Fremont, I think it's Fremont. They're over in Seattle in America. Got these from Beers of USA over here, imported after an excellent tip off from Adam of Mersey Beers. I had this one a little bit too long in the stash. I got it in early part of the year. I kind of sat there waiting. There hasn't been too many disco beers going about this year. Don't know why. Maybe they run out of names, but if it's got disco in it, I'm probably going to buy it. So let's get this one out into the glass and see how we get on. Of course, I'm using slightly too small a glass for this one. It's my Mad Yank brewery glass, one of my local breweries, but because it's American, it's kind of relevant. I'll top that up later. Well, here we go. Looks pretty good in the glass. Still smells nice fruity aroma on it. Although then that aroma does go a little bit kind of citrusy. The thing I have mostly with double IPAs, especially American ones, it's going to go grapefruit fairly early, isn't it? And you're probably bored of me saying I'm not a big fan of sort of grapefruity, citrus, hop heavy IPAs. But going with an open mind, gotta try these things. Cheers. Happy Disco Day. Sorry. Give it time though. There's that massive initial earthy, hoppy grapefruit hit. It just doesn't sit on my palate. I keep saying it, but I keep trying them. Give it a few minutes though, and maybe the next beer that will kind of settle. We often talk about balance, and for me, in the initial taste, and again I will give it time, don't worry, I'm not judging it just on the first sip. We'll jump cut this and come back. There's a jamminess there, a kind of orange marmalade kind of sticky sweetness, which I do like. There's not so much on the grapefruit, kind of settles pretty quickly, but there's still that kind of heavy earthy hoppiness. I think it's a perfectly good example of the style. Fans of hop heavy American IPAs will, I would imagine, enjoy this, especially fresh. I say it's been sitting in my stash a little bit too long, but it's still all there, still got all that burst of flavour, still got great aroma, I think it's on the back end of the best before date, but it's just not quite for me, but it will be better down the bottom end. It's a fair bit of citrus. It is going nicely, much nicer towards the orange as it travels down. Let's see what I get at the bottom of the glass. Yep, down the bottom of the glass. Nipped out, taking a few pictures, posted on Instagram, waiting for that taste to develop. It is again still lots of nice orange marmalade, jammy sweetness. Those hop notes do kind of dissipate, but they're still there and very noticeable. But it is quite drinkable. I do really like the sweetness. I like that jammy kind of orange sweetness in a beer. Guess you get that lot from sort of West Coast beers, but this is built just as a double IPA. It's 8.5%, but maybe it's just because it's the first one out and I've started big. Still quite light and drinkable, but there's a good heavy body on it. Sits really nicely in the glass. You can see the alcohol legs on it as well now. But yeah, not a bad one to start off with. Takes a while to settle in for me, but a good example of the style. I've got another one in the cupboard, so we'll see what that looks like another time on its own. Cheers, on to the next one. And oh yeah, new camera. I'm too busy looking at the laptop screen and not the camera. My apologies. Like I say, live and learn. And that next one is this little number. It is from Cloak and Dagger Brewing, which are down on the south coast of England near Worthing. It is Never Dug Disco, 5% New England IPA. Again, and I've got to say this each time I say it, but not a big fan of New England IPAs for the very reason. I'll read it off the can, I've just seen it. A hazy, juicy Citra and Vic Secret New England IPA coming in at 5%. I've said it many times before, Citra, because of that grapefruit citrus element of it, not one I favour. So again, I'm kind of getting it out the way early, but I've got another New England coming up anyway, so it kind of doesn't really matter. But let's get it in a glass and see what we get. I do love the artwork, by the way. Let me just turn it around there. Bright colours, purple and yellow, brilliant. I don't know if those two are Zeds. And I've got a beer coming up at the end of this called Disco Nap, so kind of relevant, and I hope I'm not catching Zeds at any stage during this day, but let's see how we get on. Cheers. Standard glass for this one. Pouring pretty pale, but some good carbonation on it. It's a nice head form in there. It's quite big bubbles, I think that's the way I've poured it. Yeah, big bubbly head developing there. Looks good though, looks pale, juicy. Got a new camera, I keep forgetting which side to put stuff. Don't really work like that, does it? Live and learn, hashtag always learn. But yeah, nice, pale, juicy. I suspect heavy on the citrus, but let's have a look, let's have a sniff to start with. Yeah, definitely very juicy. Only got this in recently, had a good look round. Had to do a little bit of searching for my disco beers on Disco Day 5. Although I was aware of this one before, I think I've missed this one previously. Yeah, lots of juiciness. Definitely some grapefruit, probably more pineapple actually. Maybe a little bit of peach. A good aroma, but I think it's going to be too hoppy, but let's have a look. Cheers. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm coming off the back of an 8.5% double IPA. This is only 5%. So it is much lighter. Slightly thinner maybe, but it's still got a good body to it. Quite a good flavour. They've done well here. Maybe that Vic Secret kind of tempers the Citra a little bit. It's not hop heavy. Plenty of flavour to it, plenty of juiciness, as I say. Yeah, nice juiciness. Again, let's see how it travels. Come back in a sec. Cheers. And yeah, I have to say, travels really well. As I said before, I struggle with certainly New England's and a lot of other IPAs when they're really hop heavy. This has got a much more muted grapefruit flavour, and that stays with it, stays nice and balanced. It's much more like a can of lilt. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but for me it's great because there's nice grapefruit flavours, a little bit of pineapples, maybe some other stone fruits. Sits nice and balanced. Again, good sweetness, not too heavy on the sweetness, say compared to the last one, but really drinkable, juicy, fairly refreshing. Would have been really great the other day in the hot sun. It's kind of chucking it down with rain today, but yeah, really drinkable. Kind of pleasantly surprised. Nicely done, Cloak and Dagger. I've had some other good beers from them when I got an order in when I found this one. Head stays nice and lively. Travels down the glass really well. Cheers, on to the next one. Well, here we are, beer 3 on Disco Day 5 from the Disco collection. And if you're not already bored of me going on about beers I don't particularly like, probably not going to enjoy this one, as am I don't think. It's a triple IPA, 10% from Overtone up in Glasgow, Scotland. I've never tried a triple IPA before. As you saw from the first beer, double IPAs is probably, I think, about my limit. But then I've never seen a triple IPA with disco in the name. And if it's got the disco in the name, I'm probably going to have to drink it. It's kind of the law. So I'm not massively looking forward to this one. But I do love the artwork of Overtone. Very difficult to photograph. But it's got a disco ball. And always difficult because it's sideways. And it would help if I had it the right way around. But it does look good. Overtone, Night at the Disco. Hello. New camera, focus please. Come on. There we go. I think that's better. Right, yeah, so stop messing about, just get it in the glass. Let's go and just go for it. First triple IPA I believe I've ever done. Here we go. It's my favourite glass by shape. I think it helps the beer go down nicely. That's proper thick and gloopy as an IPA goes. Into the glass, bright orange there. Turning point glass, again because I love the shape of that glass. Here goes nothing. Cheers. Nearly forgot to do the aroma, so keen to get into it. Nothing major on it. A little bit of kind of vague fruitiness. It doesn't smell massively hoppy, which is a bonus for me, so let's see how it goes. Cheers. Oh, for fuck's sake. Steady. Okay, it's not too bad, right? It's not too bad. Big like it's a big hop hit. Kind of sort of grapefruity, but not. More like it's a different type of grapefruit. I don't know, like you do get ones like red grapefruit. Yes, that big earthy citrus hit that I don't like off a grapefruit. It's quite yeah, it's quite thick and voluptuous on the body. It's it's going to take me a while to get through this. I don't really taste 10%. I can't taste much on the alcohol, to be fair. Oh, look at that though. Look at that though. As I say, give me a minute, because we always say, and Rasco does this a lot as well in his videos, what's happening up here isn't always happening down there. Thank you. I've got this new camera and it can't focus properly. Hello. Focusing on that now. Oh, there we go. Happy days. Thank you. Technology. TIPAs and technology. What a Friday. What a disco day. Basically, fans of this style will like this. It's heavy. It's got some juice to it. I'm expecting more kind of juice on it. I've got to check out what the hops are. I'll do that in the break. I'll come back to it a little bit further down the glass, see how it holds up. I'm not using the word refreshment on it. I'm not even using the word juicy. I mean, it is kind of there is a big kind of orange and mango juice kind of feel to it, but there's no orange flavour. A little bit of mango, maybe pineapple. But it's just too, it's not even like a distinct standout grapefruit hoppiness. I just don't get it. I can see why people kind of like it, but I'm not sure this one's. But like I say, it has been sitting on my store, so I got it earlier on the year. Same time I got that Disco Wolf. Picked it up from Trembling Madness. Let's see how it goes down. I think I'm going to struggle. In the meantime, let's just do this, because I bought them together, so I should really drink them together. It's called Disco Baby. Again, I got it when I got that Overtone from House of Trembling Madness. I saw it there and I thought, oh, go on, why not? Again, whilst I'm doing drinks I don't particularly like, I don't mind vodka, but it's vodka soda. It's got lemon, lemon, watermelon and thyme, I think. Yeah, I'll tell you what is nice about this. It sounds a bit weird to say, it's kind of velvety, kind of plush kind of can wrap, which is quite tactile and kind of nice. It's kind of soft and a little bit furry, so I like that. Like I say, not a big fan of soda, so the fruits and the vodka are okay, but I'm going to have a little bit of a chaser. Who does a chaser with a 10% triple IPA? Disco does. Cheers. Let's get that in the glass. So it's a lovely pink colour. It kind of matches the can, doesn't it? That's fine. That's alright. Yeah, lovely pink. Disco Baby. Nice. Actually, okay, it's more like mineral water, not mineral water. Yeah, kind of mineral water, tonic water than soda. I don't normally like that kind of carbon dioxide taste out of soda water. The fruit flavours in it are really nice. Actually, I'm quite surprised about that. A lot of sweetness, like from the watermelon. Don't know about the thyme. There is actually, yeah, there's maybe like a kind of savoury, a bit of salinity to it. I'm going to leave that one because I'm going to need that one too. It kind of refreshes the palate. It kind of, yeah, there's a bit of a palate cleanse going on after that triple IPA. That's not too bad actually. I like that. Cheers. Well, here we go. What has helped drinking this is the fact that in between these little jump cuts, popped in, had a chat with Starman Steve and Trilby Phil on his the live show. So drinking a beer with friends often helps, I find, makes it go down easier. This one has been a real tough one for me, as I expected it to be. It's kind of, it's a great colour, it looks really good, it looks really thick and voluptuous, and it kind of is, but it's like, I don't know, it's not going to make me rush back to triple IPAs anytime soon. You know, it's just, it doesn't sit right. It's kind of, it's not massively citrus or grapefruit or really spiky hop flavour. It's just kind of odd. It's a bit like drinking a massive glass of like freshly squeezed orange juice, maybe with a bit of passion fruit, maybe with a bit of mango or something, but without any of those actual flavours. It's just kind of, I mean, it's not bland, there's definitely a big character to it. It doesn't really taste 10%, not a massive alcohol flavour for me. Again, it's been sitting in my stash for 6 months, but it's a bit of a mission to get through it, to be honest. It's been okay, it's been alright. It's got better down this end of the glass, as we always say. You have to travel a beer, but look how much I've travelled it, and it's still kind of a bit of a fight. It's not as bad as some double IPAs I've had that have been really piney and resinous and stuff. It has got that resinous to it, but there's no massive specific flavour, no massive specific bitterness, no grapefruit. It's just one I've got to try because it's got disco in the name. It's got, I say, it's not going to make me rush back to TIPAs anytime soon. But Overtone are great. I think it's a great beer, by the way. I've heard lots of good things about Overtone. I've only ever had one other Overtone that I bought at the same time, but I had it earlier in the year, and that was a brown ale, and that was really good. Really enjoyed it. It was like a raisiny and stuff like that. In fact, it was called Raisin. But yeah, this has been alright. It's been interesting. It's been worth a go. It's not going to be stand out for me, but also it's not a drain pour. It's not terrible. It is. It's balanced in that there's no particular flavour either way, but it's just got that kind of odd, slightly resinous, slightly grapefruit but overly hoppy kind of thing to it. I'm going to finish it. It's going to be fine. I tell you what has helped. As a chaser, this has kind of helped. It kind of cuts through that kind of resininess, kind of sort of pininess, with kind of lighter flavours, kind of fruitier flavours. Definitely that watermelon stands out really well. It's got a little bit of salinity to it, like I say, with that kind of sort of savoury kind of flavour, I guess, from the time. A little bit of citrus with lemon. It's been really nice, and as a chaser it's great. I mean, I wouldn't normally drink vodka soda. I don't really normally drink vodka at all because I think there's a lot to it unless it's got something mix up. But yeah, it's been alright. Disco baby, and Night at the Disco. That's kind of the end of my late afternoon, early evening drinks. Got 3 more to go. This is going to be a long video unless I get some really serious edits, but stay with it. Let's see what's next. On to the next one. Cheers. Okay, so we're over halfway on Disco Day 5 now. I've got 3 more Disco beers to go. Starting with this bad boy right here. It took me a while to get hold of this one. It was a little bit of a chase. You only had them available in 12 packs on the website, and I really didn't need 12 of these beers. I wanted to try the other beer on the website as well, so couldn't get hold of them. Finally, took me a while, took a lot of searching. This one, found it in a beer shop called Real Drinks over in Twickenham, which sadly this weekend apparently closing down, but it's still got a shop over in Maida Vale. But I made a drive over there, well worth a trip. Got some really good beers, including this one, 6% double dry hop New England IPA. Once again, I said it before and was pleasantly surprised with the previous New England IPA. This one's double dry hop, so I'm not expecting a lot. Lovely artwork, lovely bright neon pink with on the black cans, straight up decent artwork. Love a bit of that, and the name Workshire Brewing. A lot of the beers so far, if they weren't with Disco in the name, I probably wouldn't have looked at them twice. New England's and triple IPA. But I do like the artwork on this, looks really good. Let's get it out into the can. I realised I'm taking up a lot of time with this one, so enough waffle. Let's get this one out into the can and check it out. I hope to be pleasantly surprised as I was with the previous one. Obviously, once again, going with me straight up glass, narrow pint glass. Pours really nicely, quite thin. A lot of quite bubbly head developing there. Looking really good. Immediately again, I can get that fruity aroma, bit of citrus, bit of tropical fruit. Yeah, there's a big grapefruit on there. Maybe a touch of pineapple. Solid example of a New England IPA. Like I say, I know it's not going to sit well on my. I think it's not going to sit well on my palate, but it is quite juicy, quite fresh. A really good aroma. Let's dive in. Cheers. Yeah, actually, there we go again. Pleasantly surprised. Quite pillowy on the mouthfeel. Yeah, the grapefruit takes a while to develop. That grapefruit really doesn't work for me, but there is good juicy fruity quality going to it. I love the really soft, cloudy, pillowy head going on. Nice fruity aroma, but it's just that earthy, citrusy grapefruit doesn't really sit for me. Say, I'm 4 beers in plus a vodka now, so maybe that changes the palate. I don't know. And once again, that's just the first mouthfeel. Let's see how it develops. Let's see how it goes down. Back in a bit. And yeah, as expected, a little bit further down the glass. Not a lot of change in this one. Still that grapefruitiness, that kind of spiky hoppiness. Not massively spiky. Not terrible. And again, it's not a terrible beer. There's no nothing against Yorkshire, and this is just the sort of New England IPA that I'm just not that fussed over. It kind of, it's a bit of a slog, a little bit too much grapefruit. For me personally, like I say, as I always say, different palates change. There is a good amount of fruitiness, grapefruit, nice little bit of sweetness, bit of pineapple, some other stone fruits in there as well. I'm pushing through it because it's not a terrible beer. I say it's nicely well made. It's just not massively balanced on the flavours that I like. So I'm pushing for it because I've got 2 beers that I do really want to try. Well, I want to try all of them, but I do think I'll probably like. And one of them's a sour, one of them's a brown ale to finish. So I'm going to push through this one and crack on to the next one. I've got a couple of others from Yorkshire in the stash, so I'm going to try them. I'm looking forward to them, maybe a bit more. But as for this one, it's their flagship beer. It's got disco in the name, so I love it. But flavour wise, profile wise, not quite my thing. Again, I say, no reflection on Yorkshire. Proper decent quality beer, just not quite for me, to be fair. But you have to try these things. Cheers, on to the next one. Key to this game on a session, a little bit of water in between, cleanses the palate, dilutes the beer. Always drink responsibly, kids. Right, that's all the IPAs and the pales out of the way. Let's go to something I'm really looking forward to. The last 2, we're down to the business end of Disco Day. The penultimate beer is this, a big can, 500ml from Rivington. My first order from Rivington beers. Not my first one because I did have one. I had the pale ale the other day. Didn't realise it was in 500ml cans. This one's something like a disco ball. Peach and apricot sour. I love a bit of apricot. You don't see it in beers too often. Peach is in quite a lot. I'd rather not see it in a sour. But I've been really looking forward to this one. Again, I'm thinking I'll put it in kind of towards the end. So I thought it'd be a bit of a palate cleanser. Always like to put a sour or something fruity in across the session, as I've said before. So here we go. Let's get in a glass, see what it is. As expected, lovely orangey peachy colour coming out of the glass. Nice little head development there for a sour. Do you know what? It looks like that triple IPA from earlier, but it looks better because I know it's got some big fruit content going on. Oh, that's weird. Bit disappointing, it doesn't quite smell right. Not the big fruity content I was expecting. I just hate it when that happens. I really, really want to like this beer. Cheers. Okay, well, yeah, the fruit is there. The sour note of the Gose. I always get that wrong. The sour note is there. A little bit of salinity at the end. Just very odd on the aroma. It's kind of not good. It's been in the cool and been in the fridge. I don't think there's a problem. It tastes fine. Tastes alright. Maybe not quite as much fruit as I was expecting, but good bit of carbonation. Nice little head. It's kind of staying. Can't place that aroma. It's really weird. I'm not sure it's right. It's a bit of a disappointment. You know when you want it to be just really good, and as good as it looks great. I'm guessing there's some oats in there because there's a bit of smoothness. I don't always look at the can, mostly because I can't read the can, my eyesight's terrible. This is going to be a long video. I hope you're still with us. Anyway, nice little bit of fruitiness. This is going to go down fairly easily, and then on something big to finish. Cheers. So on to a big finish for Disco Day 5 from the Disco collection. A bottle only just recently acquired. Took a little bit of work to get this one. This is one I searched all the way to the end of Untapped. I don't really use Untapped. I don't really understand how it works in the search facility that well, but I searched on Disco beers and I found this one. Can't believe I'd missed it. It came out around about Christmas. It's from a brewery called Pretty Decent Beer Co. Even in over in East London. A brewery completely new to me. I'd also missed out all of their stuff as well, despite only being the other side of London to me. So I was very pleased to find it. Also through the power of Untapped, I found that it was on sale in a bottle shop my side of town, very far northwest of London, almost before it stops becoming London. Over in Rickmansworth, called Wishful Drinking. So I popped up there and picked up this massive bottle. I say massive, it's 750ml bottle, so probably won't be drinking it all tonight, but it looks like my kind of thing to finish. It's a brown bread brown ale. It's brewed in collaboration with a restaurant over in East London called Missy London, where the grains went into making bread, and then the bread went back into the mash as part of the brewing process. So love a good recycled bread story and a good recycled bread beer. I've featured a couple of them so far, but to find a brown bread one is fairly unusual. So really looking forward to this. It's called Disco Nap. It's 7% and it's a brown ale, so let's get it into a glass and give it a go. Nice, easy finish. I don't know if there's going to be loads of gas on coming out the bottle there. I'm going for a nice decadent Teku glass with this, because I think it'll be a fairly decadent beer. A lot of carbonation, see that head pouring up the glass. And Mad Squirrel glass, don't get enough Mad Squirrel beers in that glass, but see the dark brown, almost black body with a slightly off-white, really bubbly, smooth head. Liking the look of that. Liking the look of Just wait while the thing focuses. Be a lot of edits to this. New camera doesn't seem to work too well in the dark, but it's still better than my old one. So anyway, here we go. Yeah, loving the look of that beer. Yeah, touch of brown bread maltiness, a little bit of raisin on the aroma. Good solid brown ale. Let's dive straight in. Cheers. Oh yes, yes. Sometimes when you're expecting something really good from a beer and then it provides, it just tastes even better. Yeah, lots of brown bread maltiness, kind of almost burnt toast, brown bread. I say a little bit of raisin kind of thing, burnt sugars going on. Yeah, really good, really good. Ooh, nearly too much. I wish that would focus. Come on, focus. It's because it's dark. Talking of which, bear with me, back in a bit. Well, there we go. That was all my beers for Disco Day number 5 for 2022. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beers and a vodka and soda cocktail. It's been a lot of fun. It's been an interesting trawl through beers that, as I say, aren't necessarily my thing, but I've got to be tried. Again, all really good beers, regardless of the fact whether I like them or not. Really enjoyable, good to try. Even that triple IPA that I eventually got through. A really good finish for this brown ale. Disco nap before I nip off, probably for a disco nap. Had plenty of water in between, so I'm feeling pretty good at the moment. In previous disco days I haven't done that and I haven't felt so good come this time of night. But it's a great finish. Probably a little bit of a long video this one, so I'd like to apologise for that, but I'm not going to, because I try to squeeze as much in as I can rather than doing them all individually. Some quick beer reviews. If anybody knows of any other disco beers at any time really going on, I'll try and do this again before Christmas. If I find a few more, do let me know, either in the comments here or message us on Twitter or Instagram, or if you follow us on Facebook, give us a shout, let us know. See if you see any disco beers. I'm always interested. As for this disco nap, let me have another quick go. Yeah, with that nice smooth head that's staying, a really solid. There's a burnt flavours that might not be everybody's thing. I quite like it. A little bit of barrel agedness almost. It feels like maybe a little bit of bourbon biscuits, maybe some bourbon barrel aged stuff going on, but a really nice dark malty, an excellent finish. Not quite stout, not quite imperial, 7%, so it's nice and strong, nice and warming. So even in the summer, as we are in the UK when I'm filming this, get a bit of warmth during the day, then it gets a little bit cool in the evening. This keeps that warmth going. A really good beer, as I say. I see some of their other beers I've got to get back on to the brewery. I like the can art and some of the beers they've got going on, so I might have to get an order out of them as soon as I can. A really good finish to Disco Day. I hope you've enjoyed my run through the disco beers. Even if nobody else does, I've enjoyed doing it as always. I'll have another go come Christmas, so cheers. As I say, please comment, please let us know any other disco beers. Please hit that like button and subscribe, and enjoy the beers. Cheers. we're going to go sit in the garden and just watch what's left of the darkness and enjoy this beer. Don't forget to click on the cards at the end to catch up with some of our other videos. Believe enough to lose control. Cheers.